Again, talking about DC and trust type stuff here, we find ourselves in a weird world where apparently Matt Reeves is really looking to reboot Batfleck with this new draft of a script he turned in, and this is causing again a lot of commotion within the fans of the DCEU. They're not happy. They're not having it. I'm not, at least. I'm definitely against all this kind of crap because I just feel it shows you that they're so in their own head about where they've been and what's been going on that they're just screwing themselves. Now there's going to be fans out there that are going to argue 100%, oh, but the movies have all sucked and it's time to move forward and might as well just scrap it. I'm like, look, fine, you can have that opinion, but when you invest hundreds of millions of dollars over the span of years in like 5 movies to establish a universe, only to go, ooh, we've had a couple problems, let's just go back to the drawing board. When your competition is pulling in, $2 billion for like their 19th film in a shared cinematic universe, and they haven't had the same problems you've had, there's a problem there. They need to bring someone in who can maybe kind of do a soft reboot in terms of maybe changing direction of who we focus on instead of like the core fandom, and then reintroduce these characters. But I don't know. I'm so frustrated by it right now. Now, this is a rumor again, but it says the latest rumor suggests that Matt Reeves' The Batman could be a reboot, with Ben Affleck leaving the DCEU. When Affleck was first cast in the role of Bruce Wayne, he was a controversial choice. However, the actor's performance in Batman v Superman won viewers over. Oh yeah, totally. I loved him in Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman, the extended cut, hands down, is one of my top films of 2016. The extended cut, not theatrical. Affleck was initially signed to both write and direct the first solo Batman film, but then bowed out. And that had a lot to do also with, I think, his alcoholism. And also, there was that. There was his failing marriage with Jennifer Garner. And the vanity project, Live by Night, that cost Warner Brothers $75 million. That just did not go well for him. But then last year, there were rumors that he was still unhappy with the role and wanted to leave. Although those were both strongly denied by Warner's and Affleck himself. And that was Affleck at Comic-Con last year, gets up there and he's just like, I am Batman, and everyone's like, all right, cool, we believe you. And then rumors pop out that he's flip-flopping again. And it's like, it's been almost a year and there's been no movement on any of those fronts except what's going on with the Matt Reeves Batman movie. And as a result of that, again, we find ourselves here with this latest rumor, according to Deadline, saying that they published an article discussing Geoff Johns' departure and extensively discussed John's new role with the Green Lantern, but it also included a throwaway comment about the Batman here saying, there's an opportunity for Toby Emmerich to really reshuffle the executive deck on the feature side and turn DC into something more formidable than it is right now, with Matt Reeves rebooting Batman for a new standalone franchise, likely with a new actor to play the Caped Crusader, after Ben Affleck's stints in Batman v Superman and Justice League. And, maybe it's time. I don't know. I loved him in the role. I'd like to give him another shot to like get a solo outing to really kind of like sell it. But they are moving away from Zack Snyder's vision of the DCEU, and that might cause some problems. Tonally, this Batman is hardcore as hell, right? Like, at least in Batman v Superman, that freaking warehouse fight scene is still amazing. But if it's a standalone new franchise, that's again going to separate it from the DCEU timeline right now, which looks to be as if they are moving away from their core group, their holy trinity, so to speak. They are keeping Wonder Woman because that was profitable. There's been no mention of Man of Steel 2, even though you figure at this point it's been 5 years, they would have mentioned a sequel. I mean, even though we had Batman v Superman and Justice League, obviously, but giving him as his own true standalone sequel, that was rumored to be directed by Matt Vaughn. That's been no movement on that. And now Vaughn is off doing Kingsman stuff. So that's where he's at. And I think they're going to lose him. So it also says that there's also a thing that I read that said that, the first draft of the first act of Reeves's script was turned into Warner Brothers over Memorial Day weekend. And it did focus on a younger Batman. It focused on a younger, in his younger years and not as old and upset as this Batman was, at least in Batman v Superman. So that's something to consider, going backwards. But then again, it could be also looked at as being part of the DC Black franchise, or the DC Dark label, whatever they want to call it. And that could be their excuse to kind of break away. But we know they're working on Shazam, which is definitely part of the DCEU. There's still Black Adam, which is part of the DCEU, even though his character has rumored to now have been pulled from Suicide Squad 2. Suicide Squad 2 is definitely in the DCEU, and that's going to be coming out. Aquaman's in the DCEU, that's coming this year. The Flash is in the DCEU, and that's coming, I don't know, sometime next 2 years, I think. Maybe next year, depending if they start shooting it this year. I have no idea, but they're so jumbled at this moment in time that Hamada's got his work cut out for him. And if he doesn't get his shit together, then the whole thing's going to go tits up. And you know, there are people out there that want that. People out there that really want to see that happen. And I'm not one of them, actually. I'm one of the ones that really wants to see this franchise continue down the path it's going. It's obviously things can be fixed, can be tweaked, can be really kind of, you know, improved, but they've laid the groundwork, and let's not move away from that groundwork. Let's you know, boost to get through, because anything else like this just causes that questioning of, really? And now that that merger between AT&T and Time Warner has happened, they're all going to have new bosses. So it's entirely possible that everything else is going to go away too, depending on this $85 billion purchase, and that's been approved by the FTC. So again, with that in play, you know, the DCEU as we know it could in fact ultimately be gone very soon, simply because the new powers that be don't like the direction, and they just want to kill it. And honestly, given how much disarray it's in right now, as much as I don't want to see that happen, if they did it, I could totally be like, yeah, I get it. It sucks, but I get it. All right, let me get something to drink here, and we'll do the we'll take a look at the Dumbo trailer. Whew. All right. Oh, so if you guys are liking it, hit that thumbs up. Smack on that thumbs up. So, yeah. Sorry. Whew. Like 30 minutes of talking. Need to get myself something to drink. All right. Give us Batman. Hell, give us Batman and Outsiders. Sure. Okay. Where is this last one here?